Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Rob Wells Music Talk. It's been a while, but I'm happy to be back and happy to share a little bit of knowledge that's stuck in this head of mine. And if there's anything that I say that can light a spark within somebody, then that's a good thing. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this. Today is all about basically ways to meet people in the music industry or any industry really. These are just techniques that I've used throughout my life to meet a lot of great people, to work with a lot of great people, and to forge a lot of great friendships. And this has been something that I've done time and time again. It's worked for me time and time again. Not every single time, but I would say by and large, 9 times out of 10, this has worked for me in a great way. I always start by doing this. I remember back in the day when I wanted to get into the music industry that, I would read a lot of the credits that were in albums. I'd go downtown, my little small town where I lived, go to the record store, buy a record, walk home, rip open the plastic, start opening it up, read the liner notes, read the lyrics, read all the details about who worked on that record. And occasionally I'd see some of the same names appearing on one record or another. So I began to realize, wow, there's some people in here that are working on a lot of the albums that I love. I'm a big fan of the people that are working on these albums, obviously, because I love these albums. I'm purchasing these albums and I keep seeing their names on there. So as I went further on in life, this is in the times before the internet, so it was really difficult to meet anybody or to forge great relationships if you weren't living in the city or rubbing shoulders with all these people. But ever since the invention of the internet and things like LinkedIn and Instagram and social media tools that you can use to reach out to people, I've been using this service to meet so many people that I otherwise never would have met. So here's what I do. If I'm a fan of somebody, if I've seen their name multiple times and I love the projects that they're involved with, I find a way to reach out to them. And quite often it's on LinkedIn. Sometimes it's on Instagram. Sometimes it's on other social media apps. But basically, like if you see the name of a drummer that you really love what they do, or you see a name of a producer that you love what they do, or a composer, or an A&R rep, or anybody that works at a label, or somebody that does the graphic design for a record that you absolutely love, their names are all included on the details of these projects. And I look on the internet for their contact details on LinkedIn, on Instagram, various different social media tools. And I created my own little LinkedIn profile and a YouTube profile and an Instagram profile and basically all these other things that I need. And I started reaching out to people. And the way that you reach out to people is really important. It's really, really important. The last thing that you want to do when you send a message to somebody that you really admire what it is that they do, the last thing that you want to do is reach out to them and say, oh my God, you've got to use my tracks on the next project that you do, or we've got to work together, or here's a lot of work that I want to send your way. Listen to these 10 tracks of mine. And that is kind of the kiss of death for meeting anybody. The very best way that I have found is literally just by reaching out and telling people, hey, you don't know me from anybody else, but I love the work that you do. And here are the reasons why. Here's this song that has really moved me for one reason or another. Here's a project that you worked on that I loved, that I listened to so many times. Here's something that really influenced me and changed the way that I work. And what you're basically doing is you're heaping a lot of praise on that person. You're saying, you know what? You are doing a fantastic job. I love what you do. Keep going. I can't wait to hear what you do next. And send that message. That is basically what I've spent a lifetime doing ever since the invention of the internet, where I could actually reach out to people and very easily just, in various different locations in the world. I don't have to be in the same territory. It's been a really, really handy tool. And so 9 times out of 10, I get a response from these people. And the response usually goes like, wow, thank you so much for that message. That means a lot to me. And what I've basically done right then and there is I've started to forge a relationship. I've started to form a friendship with people, which is a great way to meet people in the industry. Rather than saying, hey, we got to work together when they don't even know who I am or anything like that, I've reached out and I've let them know that they're doing a great job, that I love what it is that they do, and I can't wait to hear what they do next. They will get back to you 9 times out of 10. As I said, like, it's a great way to meet people and to start that relationship going. That's your opportunity to then start asking questions, I would love to know how you got from point A to point B. I'd love to know your trajectory and your journey of your career. All these different things where you're just almost like having an interview with them over email and just sending quick messages, nothing too long, something that would take up too much of their time or anything like that. But just things that say, hey, I'm interested in you. I really like what you do. There's zero drama here. If you're busy, that's totally cool as well. If you're not, if you have any time to write me back and let me know some things, that would be great. This is just the things that I do in which to meet all these people. I can give you stories of this happening with me, multiple stories. The first one that comes to mind is I reached out to a composer that worked on a movie that I loved called Never Cry Wolf. And Mark Isham is the composer's name. And to me, the soundtrack, when I heard it when I was about 10 years old, it really blew me away. It was really amazing. It was all kind of synthy, but orchestral, and just really worked for the film. It was haunting. It was so beautiful. And this soundtrack has stuck with me for years, for decades. And I found Mark Isham's information on Twitter, or X as they call it now, or who knows what they're going to be calling it when you watch this video. But I reached out to Mark and I just did that. I literally just said, hi, Mark. I'm a big fan of what it is that you do, specifically the soundtrack to Never Cry Wolf. And I went into this explanation as to why I loved it so much and what it meant to me and how it influenced me and how it really just showed me that you could mix synthesizers with orchestral and blah, 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 all this stuff. And I just sent it off and I thought, Mark is never going to get back to me. He's never going to reach out. He probably won't even read this. But literally 30 minutes later, I got a message from Mark Isham. Mark Isham wrote me back and said, you don't know how much I needed this email, or this message. It means so much to me. Nobody even talks about this movie at all. It was one of my first soundtracks that I ever worked on. And your message really means a lot. And I probably sent like a couple of other messages to Mark and we went back and forth a little bit, but that's it. I mean, like that's as far as that went. And that's totally cool. I wasn't really doing it for trying to, have a great relationship, working relationship with this person, where I was getting a lot of work from them or anything. It was more just like, I'm a big fan. I want to let you know that you're doing a great job and I can't wait to hear what you're doing in the future. I've done it so many other times. The music director for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, same thing, reached out to them and just said, I love what you do. I can't believe the music that you choose for these episodes. It's absolutely amazing. They reached out and said, I'm coming to Toronto. I'd love to sit down and have breakfast with you. And I got to hang out with the music director of Breaking Bad. Really cool. Great experience. I got to ask a million questions because I'm curious about all this stuff. Absolutely. Another one is that I reached out to Corey Hart, who's a huge Canadian pop star from the 80s and had a lot of stuff in the 90s as well. And just a great career. And I loved the music. I loved the productions growing up, the Corey Hart music discography and everything. So I found Corey's contact info through social media and wrote to Corey and just said, again, you don't know me from anybody else, but I love what you do. I love your music. I love your production. I love your songwriting. It's really inspired me. I've had a career of songwriting and production myself, and a lot of it is very much influenced by the work that you've done. And sent it off to him, and again, thought, I'll never hear from this person ever. But Corey reached out to me again 30 minutes later and just told me, thank you so much. I love that message and it means a lot. Again, I'm coming to Toronto. Would you like to meet? And I just freaked out because I grew up listening to Corey Hart. They were definitely wearing up my Walkman non-stop. And so I said, Corey, I'd love to meet with you. Can I ask what you're doing in Toronto? And he said, I'm playing a show at the Pride Music Festival. And I brazenly asked, do you have a keyboard player? He said, no, I don't. I said, would you like one? He said, why don't you meet us at the rehearsal and we'll see what happens. So I met Corey at the rehearsal, I met his band. I learned all the songs and ended up playing that show with Corey and his band in Toronto in front of thousands of people. That then led me to being part of his band. I got to play for Corey's farewell concert. We got to open up for Shania Twain in front of 35,000 people. We got to play in front of 80,000 people in Quebec City. That was amazing. I got to fly down to Bahamas multiple times to work with Corey on future music that he was doing. I got to work with his daughter as well. I got to meet the whole family. And then one night when I was hanging out in Bahamas, who pops over but Shania Twain? And she just came over with her husband and we hung out for the entire night and had the best time. I'm still laughing about that whole thing. Like, I can't believe that all these things happened just by me reaching out. So here's the thing. When you do reach out, and you do reach out in a nice, courteous, positive way where you're not trying to get into work right away, most of the time it's just you're forging a relationship and you're telling the world or telling that person, you're doing a great job. I love what it is that you do. I can't wait to hear what you keep doing in the future. And you forge a great relationship with that person. They begin to realize that you're zero drama. You're fun to hang out with. You're fun to talk to. They'll probably do research on you and they'll say, oh, cool. Oh, this person is a producer or they're a songwriter or whatever. Let me check out what it is that they do. And they might become a fan of what it is that you do. And then when they have a project, they might actually call you and say, I've got this thing. I think you might be really perfect for it. It's a win-win, right? It's a win just to be friends with somebody, to make a new friend in the music industry. It's also a win when it turns into business. But you do it in such a way that is just nice and gentle and sweet and kind and not ruffling any feathers. And suddenly you are meeting a lot of people in the industry. I challenge you. You can do this once a week. You can do this once a day of reaching out to people just to forge these great relationships. It's a really, really easy way to all of a sudden get plugged in to a lot of different people that are working in multiple territories around the world. It doesn't just have to be the territory that you're in. It could be literally any territory around in the world at all. I've done so many things around the world, and it's all just from reaching out to people and being kind and saying that I'm a big fan of what it is that they do, and hopefully eventually they'll become a big fan of what it is that I do, and then we start working together, and it's a great thing. So anyways, I hope that this information has helped you. I hope that you can now, light your torch and you can start doing this thing where you start finding out people's information. Stick around for the end of a movie if you really like the music. See who the music supervisor was. Stick around at the end of a TV show. See who the music supervisor was. See who does music at video game companies. See who works on music for commercials. All the different aspects too. Like, look at the musicians, look at the producer, look at the artist, look at the A&R, look at the music supervisor. All the different aspects that you think that you can reach out to people that you're interested in and you think they're doing a great job. I hope this video helps you, and I will see you next time when we do another episode of Rob Wells Music Talk. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.